The COVID-19 pandemic, a global crisis, millions dead. But where did it all begin? Some say a wet market in Wuhan, China, others whisper of a lab accident, a virus escaping into the world. The truth? Still shrouded in mystery. Wuhan, a bustling metropolis, became the epicenter of a global nightmare. The virus, later known as SARS-CoV-2, spread rapidly, silencing the city's vibrant streets. Hospitals overflowed. Fear gripped the nation. As the virus jumped borders, a chilling question arose. Could this be a lab leak? The Wuhan Institute of Virology, known for its research on bat coronaviruses, stood ominously close to the outbreak's epicenter. The world held its breath, demanding answers. December 2019. The first whispers of a new illness emerged from Wuhan's crowded hospitals. Patients presented with strange pneumonia-like symptoms. Doctors puzzled over the cause. The virus spread like wildfire through the city. The Huanan Seafood Wholesale Market, a chaotic maze of stalls selling exotic animals, was quickly identified as a potential source. The world watched with growing concern as China grappled with an invisible enemy. January 2020. The World Health Organization issued its first emergency declaration. The virus had crossed borders, appearing in Thailand and Japan. Fear turned to panic as the world realized the gravity of the situation. This was not just another flu, this was a global health crisis. As scientists raced to understand the virus, whispers of a lab leak began to circulate. The Wuhan Institute of Virology became a focal point. The institute's proximity to the outbreak, coupled with its research on bat coronaviruses, raised eyebrows. Some experts pointed to the institute's history of safety concerns. Others highlighted the virus's unique genetic makeup, suggesting possible manipulation in a lab setting. The lab leak theory, once dismissed as a conspiracy, gained traction. However, the Chinese government vehemently denied any link between the virus and the Wuhan lab. They insisted the virus originated in nature, likely jumping from bats to humans at the Huanan market. The world was left grappling with conflicting narratives. Section 4. The evidence mounts. Despite China's denials, evidence supporting the lab leak theory continued to emerge. The global community was increasingly skeptical of the official narrative, and investigative journalists, scientists, and governments began to dig deeper into the origins of the virus. Scientific papers revealed that researchers at the Wuhan Institute of Virology had been conducting risky gain-of-function research, manipulating bat coronaviruses to make them more transmissible to humans. This type of research, while intended to understand potential threats, also posed significant risks if not properly contained. Furthermore, whistleblowers came forward with alarming accounts of lax safety protocols at the Wuhan lab. These insiders described a culture of negligence where safety measures were often overlooked or inadequately enforced, raising serious concerns about the potential for accidental release of dangerous pathogens. They claimed that researchers had fallen ill with COVID-like symptoms in the months leading up to the outbreak. The plot thickened as these reports suggested that the virus might have been circulating undetected for longer than initially thought, potentially spreading beyond the lab and into the community. The US government, under the Trump administration, openly accused China of covering up the origins of the virus. This accusation was part of a broader geopolitical struggle, with both nations trading barbs and accusations in the media and diplomatic channels. They pointed to intelligence reports suggesting that researchers at the Wuhan lab had sought medical care for a respiratory illness in November 2019, weeks before the official outbreak timeline. These reports added fuel to the fire, as they indicated that the Chinese authorities might have been aware of the virus earlier than they had admitted. The world watched, captivated by the unfolding drama. As more information came to light, the debate over the virus's origins became a focal point of international discourse, with implications for public health, scientific research, global politics. The mounting evidence continued to shape the narrative, leaving many questions unanswered and the world on edge, waiting for the next revelation. Section 5. A natural origin? Despite the mounting evidence, the natural origin theory remained the dominant narrative, particularly within the scientific community. This theory posits that the virus emerged from a natural source, likely through a zoonotic spillover event, where a virus jumps from animals to humans. Proponents of this theory argued that zoonotic spillover events are not uncommon. They pointed to historical precedents, such as the outbreaks of SARS and MERS, which also originated from animals. These events have shown that viruses can and do jump from animals to humans, sometimes with devastating consequences. In the case of SARS, the virus was traced back to civet cats, while MERS was linked to camels. The similarities between these outbreaks and COVID-19 were striking, leading many scientists to believe that COVID-19 followed a similar pattern. The Huanan Seafood Wholesale Market in Wuhan, China became a focal point for this theory. The market sold a variety of live animals, including wildlife, which could have been the source of the virus. The presence of these animals was seen as evidence that the virus could have originated there. However, the natural origin theory was not without its critics. Some scientists and researchers pointed out that no definitive proof of a lab leak had been found, but they also noted that no animal at the Huanan market had ever tested positive for COVID-19. This raised questions about the validity of the natural origin theory. Critics argued that if the virus had indeed originated from the market, it would be expected that at least some of the animals there would have tested positive. The fact that none did was seen as a significant gap in the natural origin theory. Additionally, they questioned the timeline of the outbreak. If the virus had originated naturally, why did it take weeks for the first cases to be linked to the market? This delay in identifying the market as a potential source added to the mystery and fueled further debate. The debate over the origins of COVID-19 is far from settled. While the natural origin theory remains the dominant narrative, the lack of definitive evidence leaves room for alternative theories. As scientists continue to investigate, the world watches and waits for answers. Understanding the origins of COVID-19 is crucial not only for addressing the current pandemic, but also for preventing future outbreaks. Whether the virus emerged from a market, a lab, or another source entirely, uncovering the truth is essential for global health and security. As new evidence comes to light, the scientific community must remain open to all possibilities and continue to rigorously test and challenge existing theories. Only through diligent research and collaboration can we hope to uncover the true origins of this devastating virus. The journey to understanding COVID-19's origins is a complex and ongoing process. It requires patience, persistence, and a commitment to scientific integrity. The answers we seek may not come easily, but they are worth pursuing for the sake of humanity's future. Section 6. Experts speak out. The lab leak theory gained credibility as prominent scientists and experts began to speak out. This theory, which was initially dismissed by many, started gaining traction as more evidence and expert opinions came to light. The scientific community, known for its rigorous standards and cautious approach, began to see a shift in perspective. Dr. Alina Chan, a molecular biologist at the Wuhan Institute of MIT and Harvard, argued that the unique genetic features of SARS-CoV-2, particularly its furin cleavage site, pointed to possible laboratory manipulation. She emphasized that these features were unusual and not commonly found in naturally occurring coronaviruses, suggesting that they could have been engineered in a lab setting. Dr. David Relman, a microbiologist at Stanford University, echoed these concerns, stating that the possibility of a lab leak could not be ruled out. He highlighted the need for a thorough and unbiased investigation to explore all potential origins of the virus, including the lab leak hypothesis. Dr. Relman stressed that understanding the origins of SARS-CoV-2 was crucial for preventing future pandemics. Dr. Robert Redfield, former director of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, publicly stated that he believed the virus most likely originated in a lab. His statement was significant, given his extensive experience and leadership in the field of infectious diseases. Dr. Redfield's perspective added a new dimension to the ongoing debate and prompted further scrutiny of the lab leak theory. These voices lent weight to the lab leak theory, challenging the scientific community to take the possibility seriously. The debate intensified as more experts joined the discussion, each bringing their own insights and evidence to the table. The scientific community found itself divided, with some advocating for the lab leak theory while others remained skeptical. However, many experts remained unconvinced, urging caution and calling for further investigation before drawing any definitive conclusions. They argued that while the lab leak theory was plausible, it was essential to consider all possible scenarios, including natural zoonotic spillover. These experts called for a balanced approach, emphasizing the importance of scientific rigor and evidence-based conclusions. The world waited for answers. As the debate continued, the public watched closely, eager for clarity and resolution. The origins of SARS-CoV-2 remained a topic of intense interest and speculation, with the global community hoping for a definitive answer that could help prevent future pandemics and improve our understanding of viral outbreaks.